Very, very good morning to all of you on this grand occasion of a new step in your career of the medical sciences. And for that purpose, firstly, I would like to convey the best compliments from core of my heart. And I would like to welcome you all in this new class, that is the second year, with hope that you must succeed accordingly in this class too. You have gone through anatomy, physiology and pharmacy in your prior class, and now you will meet with some new subjects in this class, and that is the most important among them was the pathology, the FMT, practice Mathematica Organon. Along with, you have to study surgery in this year too. Though surgery is not being examined in this second year, but due to its length of its course, it has been divided into 2 years, and the study of surgery started from this second year. Now, first of all, as we know, if we are going to study any subject, we must have a sound knowledge about its background and what is at present. It means, what is this? What is the subject? You have to know certainly what is surgery. Now, if you start thinking about the surgery from its ancient period, you must correlate your thinking with the advent of medical science on the whole. You must imagine those era of the ancient period, stone era, where our ancestor Adi Manav were present, because they are not so much developed in regard to their sense or brain. Most of the things comes in front of them and they can't understood what is happening. For example, suppose someone has been hit by or struck by a stone piece and hemorrhage starts. He simply look at about that hemorrhage, and either he don't know what is happening, also he don't know what to do, and he only watch. If the hemorrhage ceases in course of the normal physiological phenomena, so much so good, otherwise anything may happen. In certain instances, suppose he has bleeding on his feet and have to go anywhere and passes in the sand. When the sand or the earth comes to cover his wound, the further bleeding ceases. Now, this was the experience that bleeding ceases when sand is poured upon it. Now, he started using this in other instances when any other member of his family or any surrounding, if encountered by the same condition, he tried to pour sand or clay upon it. It means this was the first understanding of therapeutic aid. If any physical suffering occurs, what I can do? And this is the starting of the medical skill. Now, the different occasions were coming in his experience. Suppose in other instance, the person developed sepsis and died. Now he started fearing to pour clay or sand upon that open wound. And if circumstantially he was in the place where there is an abundant plant of calendula, and he, without knowing why, squeezes some leaves of calendula and poured upon the wound, and the wound again ceases to bleed. But at this time, the wound healing was more better than the prior. Now, it is noted in his experience. And likewise thing, in experience he noted down, there are certain conditions which were readily gone through the aid of medicine, or he also encountered those conditions where only manual method is sufficient to give relief. Suppose some person fall down and his shoulder has been dislocated. If some person, with the help of manipulation, bring back the dislocated part, that is called reduction, means if he became able to produce reduction and bring back the part at its position, the person again become free of suffering. Now this manipulation is also noted, but under certain other category. In this way, the different experiences were collected basically into two groups. One group which were added with the help of medicine, and other group which were added with certain other measures by mechanical, by manual, and likewise. And in this way, this is the starting of division of two main branch of the medical science. The faculty or the collection which were for the purpose to give relief to the person with the help of any substances used as a medicine, that comes under the realm of medicine. And the collection of knowledge which is used for the help of suffering humanity by using certain mechanical method, manipulation, physical method, and likewise this comes under surgery. And in this way, medicine and surgery both come into existence. You know, the most ancient system or discipline of the medicine is Ayurveda. It is said that Ayurveda is on the earth near about 5,000 years. Though certain written evidences are within 1,000 years, and the first ancient surgeon, which is called the father of surgery, was Susrut, that a saint near about 600 to 1000 BC. Most of the person date back this period at about 7th century BC. Certainly, a few instances is still present, as his ashram in Siliguri, or some instances of his survival in the Varanasi. some evidences also comes that sometimes he was the teacher in the faculty of surgery in Takshila Vishwavidyalaya. Surgeon was the Susrut and ancient physician was the Charak. And the evident written evidence of those time was Susrut Samhita, including 700 substances used as medicine, was included into the Susrut Samhita, along with the process of understanding the disease condition, diagnosing the condition, how to give relief to the patient, either by severing the part or by reducing or by immobilizing, and whatsoever the means which are used for the purpose to help the person with the mechanical or physiological aids. And these all were described along with 700 medicines in Susrut Samhita. And afterward, from that period till now, gradual advancement in the surgery has taken place, and surgery has appeared. It is not allied with any discipline of the medicine. As we know, there are 4 main disciplines: the Ayurveda, conventional medicine, Unani, homeopathy. But it is a separate individual, because if we think about surgery, some person says that surgery is an art which applied as a branch of medicine it means the term surgery, if we go through the ancient, the developmental phase of the medical science, we know that initially the science developed, or you may say the education on the whole developed from the India, because in the world there were 2 main universities, the Takshila and Nalanda, at the ancient period, and the students from throughout the world came here to study, and in the discourse the knowledge distributed throughout the world. But in regard to the medical science, from India, Egypt was the first site where the development of the medical science takes place. And afterward, the more development occur in the so-called, and that time called Rome Ganraj, at present Italy. And for that cause, you will find that most of the words are as just they were in the Greek or in the Latin languages. They were abundantly found in the medical science, and in the Greek word chirurgical, or in Latin the word chirurgy. These words were used to describe the surgery, which literally meant the handwork. As I told, handwork, the work which can be performed by the hand. And that's why the surgery may be said that surgery is a branch of medical science where a remedy comes through instruments to be used with the applying hand. So, till now we have described the surgery on the whole, which is the term allied with all other disciplines of the medicines, as like Ayurveda or conventional medicine or Unani. But what is its relation and what is its scope, or in which way the surgery has been taken in the discipline of homeopathic medicine? Now we have to discuss it. As we described priorly, that surgery is in itself an independent method, but because certain medicinal substances are also required for the purpose to add the after effect or in some way to help the surgical procedure, and from which faculty, from which system it is used. It is allied with that particular system of the medicine. But we homeopath understand this surgery in a little bit other way. In a study of organon, when perhaps you have been described about the classification of disease, and if not, it should be described. And here, the basic concept regarding classification of the disease is initially the indisposition, and the second one is the disease proper. And where disease proper is further subdivided to the certain diseases, that is the systemic, or some diseases which are concerned with a particular part or system of the body. That's why it is called the local disease. And this surgery also belongs to a part of the local disease, because the effect of those unfavorable conditions mostly produces its impact in the way that a particular part may be treated, and the treatment of that particular part is sufficient to accomplish the treatment. Though the suffering is not isolated. It doesn't mean that if some person is hurt upon his fingertip, only fingertip is painful or only fingertip is suffering. The person on the whole is suffering. And this type of the features are helped with medicine, and so certain medicinal substance is also essential for complete the process of cure under surgery. But here, under homeopathy, all those conditions which are said to be surgical under conventional medicine, about 80 to 90% conditions are regarded and treated with the help of medicine, homeopathy. In this way, the homeopathy has cut short the scope of surgery to greatest extent, and so it is rendered to some respectively less importance and more emphasis is given upon the medicine under homeopathic system. Although the conditions which were said to be the strictly surgical, here certainly one can take the help of the surgeon from other system. As we know, the medical work is a teamwork. Not a single person is sufficient to complete the entire course of cure for a diseased person. Here we also use the same notion, and we carry on the treatment in cooperative way. But as far it is under distinct jurisdiction of homeopathy, Dr. Hahnemann itself has described under different section of the organon in regard to the local disease and treatment of the surgical disease. So, our curriculum has been composed keeping this opinion, and basically includes number one, the diagnosis of surgical diseases. You have to diagnose the surgical disease, the disease which can be cured with the help of surgery, and which disease are liable to be added with the surgical skill. And here, if we can separate in certain group that in spite of classified under surgical, if it can be added with the medicine, it is said to the physician, and if it is strictly surgical, it must be referred to the surgeon skilled in the handwork. After diagnosis, the second part, which is the surgical procedure, that is because clearly understanding and anybody can think honestly that the person who has developed more skill, he must be provided the chance, or he must be used for the purpose to the ailing humanity of that concern. And so the surgical procedure is not descriptively applied under homeopathy. Again, we can independently or in group partially, we must undertake the work of pre-operative measures, and then after operation the post-operative measures, and afterward to enhance the normal health status of the patient. I think you must understood this much is the scope of surgery under homeopathic discipline, and this is just like the prevention. Why I call the term prevention? I think you must have gone through the section 3, 4 and 5 of the organon of medicine, under which the qualification of physician has been described. And it has been included that a physician must have knowledge about the disease, knowledge about the drug, knowledge about the interrelation between disease and drug, knowledge about posology, knowledge about obstacle in the way of cure, and finally knowledge about the prevention. And this prevention is worldwide adopted as prevention is better than cure. It means if you can prevent any condition, it will be so much so good for that person. And here under homeopathy, we prevent about 85% of the surgical condition described by the conventional medicine, and so we are going to prevent most of the surgical condition with the help of medicine. And the rest condition, we shall further start our study. And in regard to surgery, the most relevant the condition or term is wound. You may say, where there is wound, there is surgery. Wound in so many ways, or so we shall start our study right from this wound. And I think in next day you must be prepared in this regard, observing your text, so that when we were discussing in the next class about wound, you can understand better. We shall discuss about the wound, that any impact of injurious substance